So, we talked about the Owl House Season 1, and I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of Gravity Falls, but I still thought... Right, but that's a compliment. Right, it's Gravity Falls, but it's with, more instead of being like this paranormal conspiracy theory, it's magic. And now, having finished Season 2... Right, I said comparing it to Gravity Falls is a compliment. Well, I've got a bigger one. I think the Owl House is better than Gravity Falls. It hasn't stuck the land, right? It doesn't have the ending yet. It hasn't stuck the landing. It's been canceled. So, I, as far as I know, there's going to be a few more episodes. There's going to be, like, a few more episodes to wrap up the show. But they wanted more, and Disney canceled them. Right? It's kind of like Steven Universe. Steven Universe had 5 seasons, and they were supposed to have 6, but they got canceled and were given 8 episodes to finish the show. And it fucking sucked. Right? Those last 8 episodes, while not the worst thing in the world, it didn't all come together, sadly. But I really hope the Owl House can pull it off in whatever they were given. Because as far as I know, they were given something. I don't know how much, but I know they were given, I'm like 80% sure they were given something. And I really hope they can stick the landing. Because the Owl House, I think, might be better than Gravity Falls. And Gravity Falls is fucking amazing. But I think this is better. I was blown away. Like, I really enjoyed the first season. Second season... Holy shit, is it so good. Man, I was just so impressed. Beginning to end, it had me so invested. And I enjoyed it so much. And there's just so much good in it. It's so well done. It's well written. It looks fantastic. I like the animation, but the fight scene animation and choreography, top notch. Like, I didn't realize how really good it actually, like in the first season, I think I talked about how good it is, but like actually just like sitting, like watching back some of it and being like, yeah, wow, this is just so fluid. Because I finished it, and then I had something else to do, so I put it on in the background, and I had I started back over from the first episode, and I just had it on in the background, and I occasionally glance up, and I saw one of the fight scenes again, and I was like, oh shit, that looks so good. But yeah, in this second season, we're back off where we left off in the first, right where Ida and her sister have lost their powers. They no longer are technically hiding from the Emperor, but the Emperor is trying to do something. And so one of the things they talk about in the first season, the Emperor Bellows brings up that he's like not trying to take over the human realm. Right? He's not trying to leave like an army of witches into the human realm. Oh shit. Okay, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's kind of it. That's interesting. Right? Like, that's a nice change of pace. Because, right, I'm so used to, right, these villains, right, who are trying to get this doorway, who are trying to go to the other world to take it over. So in the second season, it's like, they set it up as if, oh, he's trying to go to the other world to spread magic to it. That's what it sounds like anyways. Because early on, he talks to the Coven heads. And he's like, oh, well, we've created the Coven system to, spread magic to the other world. And there was this whole element where I was like, oh, is this gonna be, like, oh, he wants to show them that the people of Earth, that, hey, guess what, we can be civilized as well, and yeah, it turns out to be the exact opposite of that. That, no, Bellows actually is a witch hunter who wants to get rid of all magic, and his whole Coven system is like this massive unification spell that will kill everyone with a Coven sigil on it. right? Which kills a bunch of people. And that, yeah, Bellows is actually like a horrible person, which Bellows being a horrible person doesn't surprise me. Because the one thing I will say, so that's one of the things I didn't know. Like, what Bellows' like end goal was, I didn't know. Bellows' end goal, I didn't know. I'll fully admit, I didn't know that. But everything else in every other major reveal, with like one other exception, I knew. So spoiler alert for the second season of The Owl House. Just straight up spoiler. I'm going to spoil the entire thing right now. The internet loves this show, but as a result, they don't keep any of its secrets secret. So before having even watched the first season, I knew that Bellows was Philip, right? The human Philip. I knew that reveal. I knew who right? I knew that he was working with this collector, and that the collector would kill him. I knew that at the end, all Luz, Willow, Gus, Amity, and Hunter would all escape to Earth and be trapped in Earth. I knew that Hunter was some sort of like clone. They call him like a Grimwalker or something. I don't think they ever explain what that is. But he's basically like a clone maybe not Bellows, but like someone like I don't know. I've seen this name, like it's not Clyde, but it's something like that. Like, and that might be Bellows' like brother, so he might be a clone of him. I don't know where people are getting that name from, right? I have no idea where people are getting the name from. But yeah, I knew Hunter was like some sort of like clone or something like that. That was something I knew going in. I knew King was a Titan. I knew about Ida and Rain Whispers. What else? I knew about the Selkie, right? Who's taking Luz's place in the human world. Basically, every major plot point in these like end few episodes, I knew, right? Because the internet loves this show so much that they just couldn't keep all of these things a secret and like let people experience in them. So yeah, before I had even watched the show, and it's not like one person spoiled it for me. It's been a bunch of different people over. I think when did the show end? When did season 2 end? I mean, I think it's been a few. I think it's been like 2 or 3 months now. But yeah, it might have even been. I don't think it was September of last year, but it's been a while, and I honestly kind of don't remember. And God, was it September? Whatever it is, since it ended, the internet just does not keep the show secrets, right? And because I wasn't watching along, I just kind of knew all of them before going in. Now that doesn't make me think any less of the show. I know there are some people who really like to, not know anything about a show going in, right, who think spoilers are the worst thing in the world. I don't go out of my way to find spoilers, but I'm also not gonna think of less of a piece of media just because it has been spoiled for me. I know there are some people who treat stuff like that. But yeah, no, knowing basically all this show's secrets, with 2 exceptions, I still really enjoyed it, right? I don't hold it against the show. I don't hold it, I definitely feel like the fan base should chill the fuck out, but I don't hold it against anything, right? I still thoroughly enjoyed it. The other secret, though, so right, Bellows' plan was one of the things. I knew he was working with the Collector. I didn't know the unification spell was going to kill everybody. I just knew something happened and they had to escape, right? And they were trapped in the human world. The other thing I didn't know, I knew Luz and Amity were, right, there was a lot of hinting at them being in a relationship. I did not know they got together. I'm so used to shows getting their gay characters together in the final episode. Bonnie and Marceline in Adventure Time, Catra and Adora and She-Ra. I'm so used to those things that when Luz and Amity get together, oh gosh, when do they get together? It's like they get together 8 episodes in. I was generally like, oh shit, okay. There's a moment at the start of the 8th episode. There's a moment where I don't remember exactly what Luz says, but she calls Amity like a goddess, and that she goes to say like, oh, I'm trying to figure out a way to create a new door, but she accidentally says like, oh, I'm trying to find a way to create a door into Amity's heart. And I was just like, oh, that's the cutest fucking thing ever. And then by the end of the episode, they're dating. And I was like, oh shit. I'm so glad. Because again, I'm so used to these shows waiting for the final episode that I'm so happy to see them get together. 8 episodes into the season. And you know that's why Disney canceled it. Right? We know with Steven Universe, the Cartoon Network executives told Rebecca Sugar if she had her wedding, which happens at the end of the season, if she did the wedding at the end of the 5th season, 8 episodes before the end, then they were going to cancel the show. And yeah, she had her wedding, and they only gave her 8 more episodes. They then gave her an entire other season, but that's a whole other thing that I don't even want to get into. But yeah, no, it is pretty... Yeah, fuck Disney executives for canceling this. Right? Fuck them. This is why everybody hates Disney, man. Like, I know people, right, Disney has become for many people a childhood. Right? Like, they're the makers of dreams. But fuck Disney, man. It's so weird. Like, you had that whole thing with, like, Republicans. Because, Mickey Mouse goes into the public domain in 2 years. But Disney's going to lobby lawmakers to, try to get that extended. But I really hope they fail. Because, because Democrats hate Disney. Or, not Democrats, leftists. Leftists hate Disney for, canceling the show and supporting Don't Say Gay bills. Whereas Republicans hate Disney for turning their back on the Don't Say Gay bill after liberals called them out. And leftists, liberals, Democrats. I'm using blanket terms right now. I know they're all 3 different things. But then, also for having a gay kiss that lasted like a single second in Lightyear. Right? All of a sudden now Republicans hate Disney. So I really hope Disney fucking loses and loses the Mickey Mouse copyright. Plus, they're also 150-year copyright or whatever the fuck it is nowadays. Fuck Disney, man. I hope they lose everything. Fuck them. This show may be great, but I don't credit... That's not Disney who made it great. It's Dana Terrace and Alex Hirsch and every other writer or producer or voice actor. They're the ones who made the show great, not Disney. Fuck Disney as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it was so great to see them get together. And then in the next episode of The Eclipse Lake, where Amity goes on the mission... And she's getting the text from Luz, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be all these cute little relationship things, but Amity doesn't speak texting. That was so cute. And then I love everything with them together. I think they're the cute couple. And I like that they get more serious when they do the wrestling, when they do the backyard wrestling one, and they take it more serious. And you find out, it's the day Luz's father passed away. And, for a moment, it gets kind of quiet, and because it goes into it like they're having a fight. But Luz has been off all day. And that was just a fantastic scene. And a fantastic moment. So, yeah, I love that. I love everything with their relationship. It's so good. It's so cute. I really give the show all the credit for just 8 episodes in, we're gonna do it and stick with it since. The whole bit with the Selkie-Damas, it was a Selkie-Damas, right? My head goes, I know Selkies are creatures, right? The seal skins, but I think they call it a Selkie-Damas specifically. And so I see the right, because you know they built it up to make me think that it was evil, right? That the Selkie was going to be evil, and it was going what's it? Is it called? Oh gosh, what is it called? Is it called V? Because you get like you see in the first season you see the letters, and then you see it sitting next to the mom on the couch, and it's like, oh shit, what's going on here? But then finding out, no, it's actually good, and it's just, it was running away from Bellows, and, you know, was pretending to be Luz, because they knew Luz was in the human world. It was really cute. And the voice, I was like, where the fuck do I recognize this voice? And it took me a minute, but I was like, oh, it's Amethyst. I forget the voice actress's name, because I'm terrible with names. But, yeah, it's the same voice actress as Amethyst. But the whole bit with that, and there being, the museum curator who captures the Selkie in the other world, that was all good. And the mom fully figuring it out. Giving just that heartbreaking moment where, Luz is in the headlights, and it's just like, when you get back, you can't go back to the magic world. And then in the next episode, we immediately see the consequences of that, where she doesn't want to tell anybody that she made she promised her mom to not return. It's just, oh, it's so good. And the tension's great there. Everything with, I like how, you know, so I had heard a lot of people say that, like, Amity is, like, a great villain redemption. And you know, there's the golden standard of Zuko. And I really didn't feel like Amity was that sort of... Because, well, one, she's not a villain. But two, even as, like, a bully redemption goes, I compare her to someone like Zoe Zimmer in the Miss Marvel comics. And, yeah, compared to as a bully redemption goes, I definitely don't think she compares to someone like Zoe Zimmer. I definitely... Because she's really only a bully for, like, 2 episodes. Meanwhile, you have someone like Basha, who's much more of a villain, or bully, who never gets a redemption. And you have the Golden Boy, who also does get his redemption, who is, you know, the villain, the bully. But I actually really like how they handle the Golden Boy's redemption, because they do that great... One of the things that makes Zuko's redemption so great is how it ebbs and it flows. For every good thing he does something evil, right? Where you're like, oh, he protected the people of the Earth Kingdom. But, oh, hey, look, the Avatar's back, so now he's going to start chasing the Avatar again. Oh, he helped out Katara? Oh, but he also betrays his uncle to go back home with his sister. Right? For every good thing Zuko does, he does something bad. And that's kind of what happens with the Golden Boy. Oh, he helped out, he helped stop, Kikimora from getting the talismans. Oh, boom, he's done something good, but then he steals the key from Amity to, you know, give it to the Emperor. That's bad. And, it's a lot of back and forth leading to him ultimately finding out that he's the Phantom and having to, you know, flee, where he then helps out Gus and Willow, and I think Amity's also there, protect the school. Right? You see the ebb and flow of the Golden Boy, Hunter. And so I do really like that. I think Hunter, right, whereas Amity is like, everyone's like, oh, it's this perfect bully redemption. I didn't really see it, because she's not much of a bully in the show. But Golden Boy, I think, is a pretty solid villain redemption. Not, of course, nothing, the golden standard, I don't think will ever be beat. Like, legitimately, Zuko is perfect. But, you know, for a 1-season villain redemption, pretty solid stuff there. Right, I'm glad they did the relationship. I do definitely think when it comes to Luz's not Palanquin, Palisman, I do think they're gonna wait a while on that one. If that would not surprise me if the egg hatches in the final episode, just straight up. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah. So they go into the Emperor's mind. You find out he's Philip. Which, yeah, Philip being a witch hunter... Like, I knew Philip and the Emperor were the same thing. I did not know Philip was a witch hunter, right? Who was trying to kill them all. So that's a good reveal. That was a good reveal. Especially because, you know, before then you meet Philip, and, you know, he's kind of an asshole. So then finding out that, yeah, you know, him being from the 1600s, I don't think they ever, I don't remember what the town's name is, but there's like a witch museum, right? They're clearly in like I would not be surprised if they're in like a Massachusetts area. Maybe it's because I've been playing Fallout and, you know, you go to the Salem Witch Museum at one point. I would not be surprised if they're in like a Salem, or like, it's not called Salem, but like around that area, because there's the museum and whatnot. And it ends with this whole, right, and that's why Philip, right, it makes sense why he's a witch hunter. All of the heads are still trusting him. Amity's mom, who knew that, the Unity thing. Because, like, they know that he's got, like, a different plan, but they don't know that he's actually just going to betray and kill all of them. But yeah, so that was all well done, and I know a little bit of him gets on Hunter at the end, but I kind of do like that the Collector just murks him in, like, a single hit. Not to show the Collector strong, even though that's what they are, and I have some thoughts on that. I don't think they're gonna, Toffee him, right? Like, I don't think he's fully out, whereas, like, Toffee was a fucking mess, you know? I mean, some of it was done well, but some of it definitely wasn't. Collector himself, he's clearly just this kid who has god-esque powers. And I do wonder, part of me actually hopes they don't make him into just a straight up, like, evil villain. Like, we know that he was put into, his prison by, King's dad, who's the Titan they all live on. We know that. We know, and right, he just wants to play. And part of me hopes that, yeah, they don't make him... Okay, this is going to be a weird reference, but so, it shouldn't be, but I bet it is. The Fairly Odd Parents. So, you know, Fairly Odd Parents had Channel Chasers as its finale. But then it also had, like, 3 other finales over the years. And one of the other Fairly Odd Parents finales was with Wishology. Which the whole gimmick behind Wishology was, right, it was this dark nebulous force that was going to destroy all the worlds. And to defeat it, they had to get the Grand Wand, which was sealed in the rock and guarded by a kiss or whatever, which turned out to be the rock band Kiss. I don't know. I remember liking it when it aired. That was years ago now, though. But the twist of Wishology at the end was that this, like, giant, evil, nebulous void was actually just, like, it was good, but it was just lonely. And, right, it was lonely and it wanted friends, so even though it had the capacity to destroy everything, it was actually good. And maybe that always sticks out to me, because that was, like, as, like, a kid, you know, I was, how old was I when the Wishology came out? 2009. Okay, so I was still, I mean, I was young, not super young, but yeah. So yeah, I think it's totally possible that the Collector kind of goes the same route, right? Because when King occasionally, like, hears him trapped in his, like, bubble in the other world, he talks about how he can't wait to be free to play games, and how, like, lonely it is being trapped in this prison. So I really do hope they don't, right, they're clear, I would say I hope they do something, like, where it's like, oh, he's a good person, but I'm, like, 95% sure they will. Like, the Collector isn't gonna be Bill Cipher, right? He's gonna be something else, and yeah, maybe he is good. I don't know, maybe they do more with him if they had more episodes, but the show got canceled, so... Looking forwards, I see how they're gonna, because, you know, since King is a Titan, theoretically they can use his blood to make a new portal and get back to Earth. So I can see that going together that way. That gets them back, and then, you know, they go against the Collector. Because, yeah, the Collector personality-wise, I like that the game they use to stop the Collector is called Owl House. It's one of those little things that I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. Ida and Rain Whispers, love them. Love them together. I love the cats, the covens against the throne. That's fantastic. Everything done there, and I like that Rain. They're a bard magician, and I love that bit where right, Ida plays the music for them, and right, the music's corrupted. Which, yeah, the corruption's, of course, them trying to corrupt the unification spell wasn't gonna work. Yeah, obviously. But, the whole bit, right, I love how the bard music works, and then, right, Rain leaving, Ida behind, because, they don't want to hurt them. It's all just really good, and I hope it all works out in the end. I don't know, I'm sure there are some people who are like, oh, I want this show to have real stakes, I want characters to die, but if you know me, I don't want anybody to die, right? Besides for, the ones who kind of, like, if Philip comes back, who gives a shit, right? If Philip dies, whatever. But, like, and I'm kind of the same way with the Collector, like, I'm, like, 90% sure he's gonna get redeemed, but if he, like, ends up, like, sacrificing himself or something, I would not be surprised either. But, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want Ida to die. I don't want Rain to die. I don't want Lilith to die. Right? The show, not every show needs death. Gravity Falls proves it. Because even though they don't, right, even after Grunkle Stan loses his memories, he still gets them back in the end. Right? Like, it still ends on a very happy note. So, yeah, I don't think they have to do it. I really do. Again, part of me wants to say right now that I think the show is better than Gravity Falls. But part of me is also waiting to see how it sticks the ending. So we'll see. And I will be there when it happens. Right? Like now that I'm invested in the show, I'm not going to wait for like the third season to just come to Disney Plus. Right? Like I was waiting for the first and second seasons. Kind of. But yeah, I just thoroughly enjoy it. I do think it's one of the best things on, and Disney's fucking fools and assholes for canceling it. Because it's so good. Now I gotta start Amphibia. I don't know, I'll get around to Amphibia one of these days. I'm not in any rush to watch it, which maybe I should be. Admittedly, a lot less of that one has been spoiled for me. Some of it definitely has been, but a lot less. It is interesting how all these shows are connected, right? Like, because at the end of the last episode, you see on, like, her, like, tablet, a news article about a girl who claims to go to a frog world. And, like, that's Amphibia. So, and there's references to other Disney shows as well. Like, I'm, like, pretty sure there was a Gravity Falls reference. I'm pretty sure there was a Big City Greens reference. There was, like, a plush or something at one point in the background. I think that was Big City Greens anyways. I'm pretty sure, like, all modern Disney shows are connected. I don't know, I think we've talked about before, right? How all modern cartoons can trace back to, Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. Right? Like, all like, these modern day shows have some sort of connection to Flapjack. Which, when you really think about it, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, fan base, you need to calm down. I know you love your show, and you're right to love it. It's really good. But you need to calm down. Actually, I've seen so much good artwork. The amount of great artwork I've seen of Lose and Amity is just fantastic.